Good day to you, Aletheia. I hope you are well. We are in week 3 of our core value refresher series. Remember, our core values are what uniquely and distinctly make Aletheia us. And this week, we are emphasizing the core value of care. And in light of our emphasis this past weekend during our worship gathering together on sympathy, where we learned that essentially sympathy is just a way of caring, a form of caring. It's a way of us saying, hey, I see what you're walking through, and I want to let you know that I'm not overlooking it. In fact, I am here for you. That's what sympathy is. So in light of that, I thought it'd be the perfect setup for us to talk about care this week. And to put it plainly, all of our relationships come down to care. We just want to be cared for. We just want somebody to care about us in the end of the day. One of the definitions in the Greek for care is to have regard for. Really, this has to do with the mind or our thoughts. Simply put, people just want to be thought of. Don't you just want to be thought of? We even use that expression. It's the thought that counts. To quote Jennifer Aniston's character in the movie Breakup, what did she say? She said, I just want you to want to care. She said that to Vince Vaughn, meaning I just want you to have the desire or the thinking to care about me and what I'm going through or what I want. This isn't even about the action of caring, although actions will follow the desire to care. Oftentimes, we don't care because we are just too distracted by ourselves and what is burdening us, what is overwhelming us. We don't even notice others because we are filled to the full with ourselves. Remember what we learned in Proverbs this past weekend, Proverbs 30:13. Solomon says, there are those, how lofty are their eyes, how high their eyelids lift. We are so busy with ourselves. We are so caught up with ourselves. We think so highly of ourselves that we often just look over and look past those around us. We don't even notice their hurts, their needs, their wants, their desires, their burdens, their defeats. We don't even notice their victories, for goodness sakes. We often struggle with care. But thankfully, God cares. He tells us, in fact, to cast all of our cares upon Him because He cares for us. He showed us the extent of His care by what He did on the cross. And what this does is it places God and His gospel at the very center of our care. It means, again, that caring, our care, the care of others, isn't about us. It's about Jesus. And care that is gospel-centered by very definition means two things. First of all, Jesus is at the center of the way we engage the marginalized, those that are broken, the weak, the faint-hearted, the abused, the suffering, the hurting, those who are caught up in addiction, all of those folks. Meaning, our care for others reflects our worship of Jesus. So the way that we care for others is actually tied directly to our worship of Jesus. And then secondly, His finished work on the cross and the empty tomb is what defines and determines the way we care for others. There is no doubt that God has called you and me to care. And when we see just how much He cares about us, we tend to care about others, church, in the same way. So we want to ask ourselves right now, this week, what is holding me back right now from truly caring for others? And maybe your answer to that is, I just don't know, Aaron. Well, that's part of it for sure. Once we kind of work past our sin and our pride and all this of why we lack care, we just might not know how. So let me talk about one practical way that you can care for others. And it comes from 1 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 7. And this practical kind of implication of care is gentleness. Look at what Paul tells the church in Thessalonica. He says, but we were gentle among you, like a nursing mother taking care of her own children. So right in this moment, I know I've kind of eliminated a big majority of the population. Men, you would never be able to identify with this, and there are even a lot of women out there who have never nursed a baby. Well, we can really wrap our minds around this for a moment. We can really kind of understand, maybe we can understand what a nursing mother goes through. The amount of tenderness, sensitivity, and patient investment that is necessary for a nursing mother is absolutely astounding. I've been able to watch my wife do this now 5 times, 5 babies, and it is astounding how much patient investment is required of her. We are not only to be present with others, but we are to engage them intentionally with the type of endurance that communicates no matter how poorly or ungrateful the other person responds to our care, or how ungratefully the person responds to our care. It doesn't matter. We're not going to go anywhere. We are prone to walk away when we have felt taken advantage of, don't we? Or when the other person hasn't shown us gratitude for our investment in them, or when they haven't adjusted or changed amidst our constant pleas. We grow weary of doing good, church, and our care tends to have an expiration date. But just as a nursing mother could never in her right mind walk away from her baby, we mustn't walk away from those around us who have even gone as far as stepping all over our care and taking advantage of it and abusing our care. So let's talk about just 3, as we close this time, let's talk about 3 practical ways that we can care in a gentle way. Let's see the needs around us first and foremost. Secondly, let's listen to the needs. Let's listen. Let's have ears to hear. And then thirdly, let's meet the needs without expecting anything in return. Man, I can't wait to see what God continues to do in us as He gives us a heart, our church, as He gives our church and us hearts of care for all those around us who need it. People desperately need to be cared for. And we as the church can be a beacon of care, a home base of care. So by God's grace, let's dive into this week. Let's have some discussions in our city group. What are the barriers? What is hindering me from caring? And guys, let's go do this thing by the grace of God and by the power of the Spirit. I love you. Have a great week. Can't wait to see you. Take care.